We talk a good game, and I think sometimes it's about delivering that.
Sustainability is absolutely top of the tree.
Why so few as 5% of warehouses have any solar panels at all?
No matter how you look at it, there is no contradictory evidence to say that the grid is in any way ready.
We need a distribution network. Nothing happens unless stuff gets somewhere.
We have to think outside the box.
Industrial and logistics doesn't get nearly the profile that it needs.
Because the business case has changed quite recently, partly because over the last decade the price of solar panels has come down, but also in recent months we've seen the price of electricity shoot up so high, and the combination of those two factors means that now is a really good time to install solar panels on your warehouse roof.
I think there's still a very good supply-demand dynamic for developers, i.e. there is very little supply and very strong demand. We're going to see more rental growth, probably not at the super high levels we saw a couple of years ago, but a good sustainable rate over the next few years. Power and planning are challenges, and ESG is both a challenge and an opportunity.
What we're seeing is there's an extra leg of the supply chain developing in the need for what we call ultra-urban warehouses, which are much more central in central London, right next to beds and high population densities. And that means that consumers can consume goods much faster than they would be able to otherwise.
So I think the urbanisation of logistics and having facilities closer into town centres where they've got access to a more diverse and inclusive warehouse worker population, which gives us a much wider demographic to go for.
We have to be making sure we're getting the right investment. We have to be making sure we're lobbying the government at every opportunity, working with the likes of the parliamentary groups of energy studies and costs and so on. Making sure we're getting the right participation and having the right conversations.
When you look at the demands that rightly the industry is facing around less embodied carbon, less operational carbon, and most people's commitment to net zero, we all have to operate in a different way.
You can't, rent a shed, you can't sell a house if the lights aren't on. It's as simple as that. I mean, there's things you can trade on, you can reduce quality, space, access, things like that, specification, but no one's going to lend money on or sign up to lease if they fundamentally can't use the building.
Some cautious optimism, but I think that if we could sort the planning system out, if we could sort out a few of the other issues, then that sort of could well be something that helps to unplug the bottle.
It's about creating a better understanding of what we're talking about, why you do actually need this broad range of space to do the wide range of everything from assembling the sushi rolls right through to having a shed to distribute them.
Rather than worrying about what might happen, which is quite negative, passive, we should spend more time thinking about and discussing what we want to happen, and that links into the whole leadership piece and the vision and the narrative behind that, and trying to sort of take people on a journey to somewhere.
One of the areas that SEGRO are actually getting into is that more inner London piece, and we're putting up quite a lot of focus with buying sites in sort of zones 1 and 2, and what we're finding with that, it's got different challenges. So, for example, transport, you've got neighbours much closer than you would have had if you were in a traditional industrial area, so it's about how you coexist as a logistics operator alongside residents effectively who are very close by.
What we've seen, particularly in the Q-commerce sector, is rapid growth, lots of early stage companies spending lots of VC money to grow very quickly. That has obviously slowed down. So looking forward, I think what we'll see is more responsible growth from the industry, really focusing on putting the right offer in the right places for the right consumer, and doing it in a way that will ultimately drive shareholder investor returns whilst maintaining a consumer selection advantage.